Have you heard about Trump's latest letter to the European Union? It wasn't a threat. It was a demand. Either European exporters accept a 30% tariff or stay out of what Trump calls the extraordinary US economy. But this isn't just a trade dispute. This is about Ukraine. And the deeper truth is, Europe can't show its teeth because Trump is holding the knife. This week, Donald Trump blindsided the EU with a letter imposing a 30% tariff on European goods. That tariff hits everything from cars to steel, just as European industry is already navigating high energy prices and global competition. But here's the twist. The EU's total exports to the US only account for about 3% of its GDP. It's painful, but not fatal. So why is Europe hesitating to fight back? Because this isn't just about trade numbers. It's about leverage. And Trump knows exactly what he's leveraging: military support for Ukraine. Trump has already signaled loudly that Ukraine won't get a blank check under his leadership. Behind the scenes, the message is simple: agree to our trade demands or risk losing American weapons, ammunition, and satellite intelligence. In other words, if Europe fights back on tariffs, Trump might retaliate by pulling the plug on Ukraine's defense. That's not diplomacy. That's blackmail. And it's working. The European Commission has avoided retaliatory tariffs, dropped its plans for a digital services tax, and even sided with the US against China at the WTO, all in the hope of securing a UK-style trade deal: flat tariffs, a few purchase agreements, and minimal damage. But Trump refused. Back when Trump cut a deal with the UK, he accepted a flat 10% tariff and let Britain keep its digital tax and VAT regime. Why the double standard? Because Britain isn't central to Trump's real strategy. The EU is. Trump sees Europe's commitment to Ukraine as a vulnerability, and he's turning it into leverage. He's folding in complaints about VAT, big tech taxes, and even free speech laws. These aren't trade issues. They're pressure points. And yet, Europe isn't powerless. It has a legal tool called the anti-coercion instrument, the so-called trade bazooka. It can impose massive fines on US tech firms and exclude them from public contracts. Europe could also coordinate with Canada, Japan, and South Korea, other countries Trump has targeted. Together, they could push back harder. But none of that happens if Europe's leadership keeps pretending this is just an economic dispute. It isn't. Europe needs to stop negotiating with its hands tied. Trump isn't operating in good faith. He's mixing trade, ideology, and security to pressure Brussels into submission. And it's time we call it what it is: coercion. Not showing our teeth is a choice, but a dangerous one. Because with every concession, the message we send is clear: that the United States can dictate Europe's economic and foreign policy with threats. The EU has strength: economic, legal, and geopolitical. But only if it's willing to use it. If we keep pretending this is a normal negotiation, we'll keep getting outplayed. It's time Europe speaks clearly, acts collectively, and stops letting fear guide its diplomacy. Because if we don't, the next knife might not be pointed at Ukraine. It might be pointed at us. If you found this breakdown useful, like the video, subscribe to the channel and visit westernrelations.com for sharp European perspectives on global politics, trade, and diplomacy. Let's keep the conversation going, because the next move might be Europe's